19th of March 2023. You guessed it, hit that subscribe button. What do y'all think is going to happen Tuesday? Y'all think Trump's going to get arrested? What do you think is going to happen if he is arrested? Well, today some people started backpedaling what he was saying they have no evidence that he's going to get arrested Tuesday. I've told you this is all smoke and mirrors. Everybody that watches this channel probably already knows that. But what is some things that could happen if he gets arrested? Think back to January 6th. Insurrection, right? What would happen? Well, people, take all their money out of the bank to protest it and make the banking systems crash. They could blame Trump for the banking system crashing then, right? If all the Republicans were like, well, the only way we can fight back, we're going to take our money out of the bank. Highly doubtful, but it could happen, right? That's something that could happen. What else could we see? We could see protests, peaceful protests. I don't know. We'll definitely probably see some protests if they come to arrest him wherever he's at and they arrest him in that area. I don't think it's going to be a widespread protest all over the United States as far as people hitting the streets. But, another thing you got to ask yourself, let's say he's arrested, he's convicted, felony, felony charge, all this. Let's say he's convicted, right? What are they going to do? Because he's a former president, he has to have Secret Service with him all the time, right? How are they going to put him in prison? He would have to have his own special wing in the prison or something, and you would have to have a Secret Service there with him, correct? It's crazy when you start trying to think all this out. They would have to strip all kind of his constitutional rights away to do it, which we know nowadays the Constitution of a lot of people in the government doesn't mean nothing. It's a piece of paper, right? We can write stuff and change it whatever we want to do. We just make up our own rules. We even have agencies now that's not even capable of making laws, writing laws. Y'all have all seen it, What's going to come of this? Big show. I told you, I still think, I may be wrong on this, but my personal opinion is DeSantis is going to be our Republican candidate. I know he's not running right now, but what's a way to get him in there, right? Well, let's arrest Trump, get some charges on him. And I think most America that voted for Trump, if he's arrested, is going to vote for him again. So, what's going to happen with all this? Trump could be the first president ever to be arrested, convicted, and then win the election and pardon himself. Think about that. That's how messed up our system is, right? Guys, have you ever seen them go after a president this bad? Honestly. No, I said yesterday in the video, think back to Kennedy, right? You can go even back further. You can go back to Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They hid that man was crippled. They hid it from people. They only photographed him from the waist up, right? They protected the presidents back then. They protected the former presidents back then. Now society has changed, but everything that Biden does is perfectly okay, right? And a lot of people get off on this laptop thing and all this and that, They're never going. They know what's on that laptop. They're just choosing not to do nothing about it, or they're choosing that there's not enough there to do anything about, right? It's crappy, but that's the way it is. I'll give you a prime example. Here in my area of Alabama, some of y'all have heard of the country group Alabama, right? Well, the bass guitar player, Teddy Gentry, got charged in the county next to me for having marijuana on him. Well, in my county, you get a ticket. Over there, they took him to jail, and they all took their pictures with them and everything else, right? But here's the difference. All over state Alabama, you get a ticket. It's a ticketable offense. But when you go to court, you got to go to color code, which is a drug court where you call every day to see if your color's being called, and you have to go pee in a cup. You got to go through counseling and all this and that stuff. But he's famous, right? He don't have to do that stuff. He just pays fine and goes on. There's different sets of rules for different sets of people, even though the rules are rolled out widely and say what it's supposed to be, right? But you can pick and choose how you want to deal with it. Guys, this is all smoke and mirrors. Look what happened when the paper come out, that we blew up the pipeline. What happened then? Oh, well, then all of a sudden we had all these UFOs in the air, right? Hush, you didn't hear nothing much about it. I don't think you heard anything on major news networks about the pipeline, right? How this reporter, come up with evidence saying we did it. Well, what happened when the banking crisis? Well, we had the train derailment weeks before people even started talking about it, right? Weeks before. A lot of people don't realize these trains derail every day. We have over 1,000 a year, averages 2 to 3 train derailments a day. Not major, not major chemical disasters or anything like that, but they do happen every day. But why so many people knowing about it? Because everybody's talking about it, right? Well, that's in the news. That's what's hit right now. Give it a couple of weeks, it'll go away. Nobody will talk about it. They do stuff to keep you looking over here while they're doing stuff over here, right? This right here, what's to say this isn't the government's like, hey, our banks are fixing to completely collapse. We got to keep people from paying attention to this. It come out, a couple of weeks ago. We were able to save it. We told them we're going to fix everything. What is something major we could do? Tinfoil hat, right? That's what some of y'all may think that watches this. Let's arrest Trump. That'll get half of America, focused on that. Meanwhile, our banks are just bam, bam, bam falling, right? And another thing, they're bailing out the banks. They changed the definition of a bank bailout, right? And they're saying they're going to pay for this out of this fee that they charge these banks and all that. There's not enough money in that to pay for all these banks. It is going to wind up costing us. They're going to raise prices on everything. Inflation's still here. Don't believe that 6-7%. You see the difference in the inflation when you go to the grocery store, when you go anywhere. Look. You go buy a loaf of bread, it used to cost 99 cents. That loaf of bread now is $1.60, $1.80, $2. Is that 6%? No, it's not. Guys, inflation's here. It's here to stay. They're going to keep doing these little games. We're going to wind up physically in this war over there in Russia and Ukraine. By the end of the year, I still think we're going to be in that. This is all smoke and mirrors for something big. It's the Great Reset. It is the Great Reset. Everything has to crash to start over. Think about it. You're so bad in debt. What do you have to do when you're bad in debt? I'm talking, you can't pay your bills, right? Most people, I got to file bankruptcy and start over, right? Our system is too big to file bankruptcy. We have to crash it. Crash it. Make money worthless. Make this stuff worthless. That stuff worthless. And then build back. Start over. It's ridiculous how far we're going with this. I've never in my life seen so much. They didn't even go after Nixon this hard. Think about that. They didn't go after Nixon this hard. I don't know where we stand in America anymore. I really don't. I really don't know. It used to be when I was growing up, you work hard, you do the right things, you can succeed in America. It's not like that anymore. It's not. I started seeing it as I was growing up. It's who you know, what you have that gets you to where you're going. It's not always the case, but for the majority of the times it is the case. Guys, our country is nothing like it used to be. It's not. It's not. I remember stories my grandpa told me. He grew up during the Depression, fought in World War II. That man, he come home from the Navy. He hadn't finished high school. He went back his senior year and finished high school and drove the school bus. Think about that. Let that set in right now in your head. He went and fought in the war, come home, went back to finish his high school, and drove the school bus his senior year. America is not, in the 50s, booming, right? Everything was booming. You working, you could afford this, you could afford that. Now you're working 40, 60, 80 hours a week, barely scraping and getting by. But yet, what do we keep seeing in the headlines? Oh, Trump this, Trump that, Biden this, Biden that. They want to divide us. That's what it is. They keep us arguing with each other. This is better, that's better. They just keep falling, making the country fall. It's the way it is. And eventually it's going to happen. America will no longer be America. It's almost there now, guys. All you can do right now is prep. Where you're able, hey, I got my food, I got my water, I got my shelter, I got my protection, I've got structure, I've got what I need, right? That's all you can do right now. So get out there and get prepping. If you're still on the fence, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see what's going on and you think everything's okay, everything's okay, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Right now, just stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings at all times, protect yourself and your family at all times, because at that moment, you're the only person that can do it. And if you're still watching, hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry, I see this video is almost 10 minutes long. For y'all that are still here, thank you for watching. Please share these videos, get them out, because people need to wake up. They need to realize what's actually going on. They need to realize they're being played, and they don't even know it, guys. Stay safe, get prepped up, hit that subscribe button.